Going through the community stream. Posting. Posting. Ah, yes, of course. Where's my hat? I gotta summon myself. Boop. Now I've manifested. All right. You mean to ask them about stuff. All right. So let's have ourselves a look. Camera's working. Everything's reading my mind. For some reason, I accidentally paused my music. Okie doke. I have one more thing I have to do. You have to change its dirty shirt. So that I don't get glue and stuff all over my good shirts. And there we go. Alright, so, welcome back. Last time we left off, we were in the process of assembling our first squad of Irontide Wolves. And here we are, we have the pack leader Ralof in partial assembly, and we ran into some technical difficulties. Namely, two things. One, the knives did not print properly. The sheathed knives. And two, I had completely forgotten to print off my shoulder pads, like a silly head. So now I have done so. And I have this sprue here, and I've also gotten some additional component arms in here, and some hands in here, for the sake of using as material for the Broodlord head, which Ralof will be holding high. Now, before I do anything else, I am actually trying something, and I've tried it before, and it works as long as I don't mess it up. Just very gently peel these away. We gotta be careful. I probably want to find a good place to... I'm gonna use this plate here, and I'm just gonna set these here. So, you probably won't be able to see this because of how small it is, but what this is a concave insignia of the Iron Wolf. It's a very thin, small piece, but it allows me to add an embossment onto a blank Primaris shoulder pad. Just peel that one off, set it over there with the other ones. And the idea is I actually want to use the Iron Wolf, not the regular wolf, as my chapter symbol. They are the Irontide Wolves, after all. And thus, I want them to have a more appropriately metal wolfy symbol. So, that's the first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna get these shoulder pads and stuff off. And I'm gonna put them on their own plate right here, which I can put in view. We're just gonna strip them of the bits and pop them off. The important thing is that I'm trying to get the blank shoulder pads together. Now I have, and I am experimenting here as well with the others, is that I have a knot pattern, a knotwork pattern that you saw me select on my, when I assembled the STL file, and actually selected the parts for these. And that'll be their pack marking. Get these off. Let me see. They come together just fine. This is a hand. We're just trying to get the sprue bits off of this. Supports, I suppose I should say. And it's okay if these are a little messy right now, because we're going to clean them up in a minute. But we're just trying to get these out of the sprue. And I think it's most important that I get the shoulder pads ready to go. Now, I have spares, so I have some time to mess up. But I only got like 2 spares, so I have to make sure I'm not messing up this process. Which actually leaves me with kind of a question of how best to go about this, which is what we will be figuring out today. Because I need to glue the symbol to the shoulder pad. Now the problem occurs that it dries rather quickly, just because it's kind of a good, it's actually a pretty good contact area because it's the whole like the surface of the shoulder. So even when it just initially, this one looks like it had a piece break off. Oh no, it didn't. Oh no, it did. The others just didn't. Oh no, yeah, it did. It had a bit of the neck break off. Okay. So I'm going to keep these on the sprue for the moment while I work with this, because this is kind of the important part. Because this is the part that I have to reprint if I mess up too much. So let's get our blank shoulders together. We'll see how many I have. I printed extras on purpose. Oh, lordy. No, yes, of course. Here I am, I'm like panicking. I'm like, oh my god, did I like not print 2 shoulder pads for each Marine, and I printed half of them? No. The other shoulder pads are the right shoulder pads. It's the... Interesting. Did I bounce some of these out? Oh, there's still one more on the sprue that I didn't get. 5. Oh, there's 2 more on the sprue. Yeah, okay. I didn't actually get them all off the sprue. Because I'm like, I should have 2 spares. I do have 2 spares. There we go. Okay. Might actually end up trying to use this somehow. Set these up. Now they should sit oops, stuck to my finger there. Like this on the shoulder pad. So they should sit like this on the shoulder pad. And I just got to figure out how to make sure I correctly stick them on. Although this one doesn't seem to be quite flat, but be close enough. It'll be once you push it down and glue it in place. It should be fine. I hope. Actually, a piece of this one just broke off. These are very delicate. I think I'm okay with a little variation, but these are very small pieces, so we're going to try what we can. But a lot of the bottom jaws are breaking off. I think I might have to do, in the future, a proper pad. So... where's my forceps? My yeah, here. Where's my forceps? Got a little pinchies. We're just gonna try and do one of these. We're just gonna try and we're not gonna be fancy about it. Just gonna put a little dollop on there. And somehow, of course, it's glued far more to me than anything else. I can already tell you, I think I'm not certain I like this setup. Interesting. Yeah, I'm already not a fan of the way it looks on the thing. And, of course, it's fiddly to do. Oh, hello. So, WRTCH, Werchik. I don't know how to pronounce that. I am currently assembling Squad ralof. Pack ralof, I should say. And these are my first warriors of my custom Primaris chapter, the Irontide Wolves. And I have written a bunch of lore for them, and I'm also 3D printing all of their components. This is a sprue with a whole bunch of bits on it. And I'm 3D printing the whole army. I'm painting the whole army. I have some prototypes that I've finished and painted here. And I'm kind of trying to put a little more lore and effort than just assembling, because I don't have a physical place to play these at, so this kind of is a display army for looking good. And I'm trying to give each pack its own, like, personality. Like, here I've got Ralof with his big axe, which is going to be like a power fist equivalent. And I have... Where is one? There it is. Printed off a Broodlord head that I am going to have him holding. But it looks like I'm trying to figure out how to actually do the chapter symbol. And to be honest, I'm kind of struggling with it. Because this doesn't look very good. And it's kind of fiddly to do. But what I've done is I've printed off some concave Iron Wolf symbols. And some blank shoulder pads, and I was going to glue them on, but like now looking at one that I've actually done correctly, doesn't look very good to me. So I think I'm going to try something else entirely. On the other hand, I do have these lovely knotwork, this like there's a name for this symbol. It's the like three interlinking, like repeatedly interlinking triangles. There's a name for that symbol, and I don't know what it is, but it's a really nice one, and I'm going to use that for their pack markings. Scoot on over to my computer. I will shift some stuff around. You guys can... You know what, actually... One second. Let me see what I shall be doing. Iron Wolf shoulder pad. STL. Let's see what we got. Space Wolf shoulder pads. Or do we maybe... Here, I will be sure to let you guys watch. I'm just going to use my picture-in-picture here. Boop. This is close. Let's see if this this guy has a... Ooh, he might, yeah, he might. I'm gonna go ahead and check his designs while that's loading. Ooh, this is nice. There's a pack markings thing. But, we'll actually, I might look at this later. But for right now... Might be something here from Thingiverse. He does not. He's got the Death Wolves. He's got the Double Wolf, which I might get later, but he does not have the Iron Wolf, it seems. Which is a shame. These actually look really nice. Let's see about this one. Let's see about this creator. Flaming Eye, Tiger Shield on shoulder. Iron Hands, Pre-Crusade, Eagle Hammers. Now, it looks like he's doing 30k stuff. Let's see if we can find one. We're just taking a moment to look for a possible STL to replace this. If we don't, I'll just assemble an STL of the original pads that I'm using. Which, in honest retrospect, I think I'm just going to cave on that point. Oh, here we go. This is Champs of the Wolf Planet. He might have them. No, that's... he does not. Let's see... There's a Death Watch. Right, we're going to get to page 10, and then we'll call it from there. And cool, like rune... actually, those are numbered pads. Bloodied Maw, so those are red maws. They definitely exist. So this guy's got the brand red maw ones, right? Of course, the picture systems on Thingiverse are weird. Oh yeah, I believe I got this one from him. I haven't used it because I don't really like the way it looks. But I believe he might actually have it. He does have these small shields. Oh, I like that. That's Arjack's shield. Oh, what do you know? He's got wolves of iron right here. Boom. Gimme. We're gonna go ahead and look at this in our downloads. Where's our 3D printing Iron Wolf folder? I have my folder off on my other monitor. I just making sure you don't see anything you're not supposed to, because I do use this computer for work sometimes. Let's load up Lychee. I'm going to go to full screen here for a second while I do this. So yeah, a lot of this 3D printing has been going back into programs and stuff, and I'm an amateur at all of this. So like I am totally just doing this for the first time in a lot of these. What do you say we take a look here? Then we're gonna get back to the building because I want to build today. Oh, hello. Ladies and gents, I think I actually got a good pack here. Look at this. I actually don't see where the hole is on that one, but okay. I'm actually kind of a fan. They're maybe a little bit heavily embossed, but I think that will be okay. Well then, solution found. What time is it? 6:30? Tell you what, we can do this now. Let's see. Do I want to do any armor shoulder pads? Let's see. We're gonna take this one. We're gonna take this one. We're gonna delete others. No, not export yet. We're gonna go to magic, medium supports. And we're gonna add the supports this. Oh! What just happened? My application crashed. I've never had this happen before. Oh, wow! That sucks. Try again? Sorry, I just got a little recover the loss autosave. Yes, please. Okay. And then I'm going to replicate these. See, once these are like this, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to make a ton of these. I'm just going to put a crap ton of these on this thing. I'm going to duplicate it 9 times so that we have a set of 20 shoulder pads. And you know what? We can go 5 more times. Okay. All right, so, and then we will export this right away. And I'll close this so that you don't have to stare at an ad. Okay. So, here's the deal. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go set my printer up, which should only take a few minutes, and get this print running. Unfortunately, I do not have the setup to show you guys how to do this, but I'm using an Anycubic Photon. I'd love to be able to show you how to do this, but I can't really. Just click that. into the completed files. I'm gonna end up taking a quick break. I will probably just leave y'all. Here, I'll find something on Pinterest and put you a cool Space Wolf picture. And we can close that here. Here's what I'll do. I'll open up my Pinterest. I'll leave you with some cool Space Wolf picture. There are some Longfang eradicators that I actually really appreciate. So I'm gonna turn this on. Y'all can stare at that. If she's feeling bold, I might be able to get the gremlin to entertain you while I set this up. Okay, this is a totally unexpected, like, change of plans, but we're kind of making do with what we got here. But I expected that to work previously because I tried it previously and I physically messed it up and glued them off center, but they looked fine. But now trying that, they were falling apart. I don't know if I did a different setting, and I just don't like the way they look. But we've now just immediately solved our problem. So I'm going to leave you with this lovely picture. And I'm going to end up, like, muting my mic and stuff. And I'm going to leave you with the music, and I'm going to leave this lovely image of these eradicators that I am kind of very inspired by. Alright, I have returned. Hopefully in the future, I will be able to take you with me when I do something silly like this. But, at the end of about an hour and a half, we shall have to go back down and retrieve the shoulder pads. But we do not require the shoulder pads, and we know they are printed. Alright, now let's see what trio we get. I actually do want to get some shoulder pads on ralof. And I think what we'll focus on is how to get that Broodlord head on. Scoot on over. So the big thing I want to work on is the Broodlord head. So it's kind of a centerpiece, right? It's kind of going to be the most visually striking element of the entire squad, because here you are, you're going to have the guy with the big glowing axe and the alien head amongst his fellows. So, now I was originally thinking that I'd saw through one of these ready hands that he used to hold the bolter and slot the head in. Oh, holy crap. That actually fits really well into the hand. Like, I don't have to do a lot to make that work. But I've got to get the hand off this shoulder, or off this forearm, because obviously I have a forearm in the position that I want. So we're actually going to use a tool that I've not used before. We're going to try and use... I swear to God, this had a saw attachment, but I guess it doesn't. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have to figure out how to improvise. Now, one of the problems I have with cutting arms like this is that the hand tends to go ejecting off in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to just try and I've already ruined everything, because that thumb just came right off. This is why we print spares, ladies and gentlemen. This is why there are 2 other spares. So that we can do exactly that and just continue. So we're actually going to start on the back wrist here. Actually, we might as well start on the collar. That'll look a little weird. Let's cut through the middle of the collar, and that should look better. Oh, this one just straight up doesn't have a thumb already. Oh dear. Alright, we're gonna have to figure out how to do this a little bit easier. So we're gonna actually clip through the arm here with a set of nippers. See if this unbalances the silhouette too much. Yeah, that'll be a bit too much, but I can do a little extra and get rid of a little more. Ah, there we are. That should do the trick. Oop. Sometimes a bit this small is a little difficult to handle, and then I'm just going to, just like Pete teaches me, use my knife to shave that flat. I actually think it'll be easiest to handle if I glue this to the head first. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to glue this to the head first. I'm holding this with forceps just so the head does not stick to me too well. That's a lot of glue, but whoops. Dab spread it out. You know, I never noticed it before, but Gene Stealer heads, kind of like footballs. Like they are legit football shaped. Look at that, it fits right in there. We're actually just going to let that cure. This conversion turned out to be so much simpler than I thought it was going to be. But hey, that's good. So now we got that curing. Once that's cured, I'll glue it to Ralof's arm. We can start dry fitting it. But I'm going to go ahead and get my knife, and I'm going to clean up one of these. These shoulder pads. And we're going to go ahead and glue. I have a habit of putting my glue down in a different place each time. It's driving me nuts. Now, one of the things about these arms, and I've noticed this about assembling Primaris Marines, is you don't generally... A lot of these arms that I get for 3D prints, the shoulder piece is actually like Primaris scale. Like, the arm is the right length, but the shoulder bit is a bit small, so you often end up putting the shoulder pads in strange places. There we go. Just like that. Look at him. He's looking pretty cool. Obviously, in an hour or so, he'll actually have a chapter symbol. Now, let's see. I actually am going to do some digging. And we're going to do something I have not done in a very long time. We're going to enter its box. This is a big thing of screws and stuff that I have here. And I'm actually going to dig through this for some components that might serve as a basis for the idea that I settled on for the arrow cycle. For those of you that had joined me earlier, I had been speaking on a device that allows them to smell better with their helmets on in environments where that would not normally be an option. So I'm looking for some sort of canister. Or pack. To place on. Hey, I got some Crux Terminatus bits here. That's cool. Yeah. You know, the Crux Terminatus is not something that I've ever heard someone discuss in the lore of the Space Wars, because obviously that's what you get as an honor for being a veteran, and then you get it as an honor for learning how to use a set of Terminator armor. But that's the whole first company thing is not how. Okay, these melt bombs might be a good start. And some more melt bombs. These melt bombs might be a good canister start. Maybe a little large, but I can probably cut them down to be the right size. And in the future, I can probably set them up to be a little bit downscaled in the first place. So that they can fit better. Grenades could technically also work, because they do look kind of like an air filter. It was actually suggested to me the canisters from the be used. I think it's actually it's the backpack bit that has the canisters on the backside. That was actually what was suggested to me, because I have decided the best place to put the equipment for the Aerocycler, and this guy's actually got one missing already from just the printing, is to replace these two lower vents on the back with some sort of canister. trying to decide if I'm going to go ahead and pop one of these melt bombs off. They're actually not that large in the first place. Let me just kind of dry fit this with some clipping. Just kind of clip that off. Kind of get that off. Gotta clean up the flashings on this. We'll clean that up later. If I take this and slot it right here, what do we think? So it slots right there. And then the other one will slot across from it. Alright, here, I'm going to clean these up a little bit. And my fingers are getting in the way on a bit this small, so I'm going to kind of get some forceps on it so that I can do the proper drag. Alright, we're going to just try and glue this in place and just see how it looks. We can pop it off later if we have to. So, we're just gonna slot it in there like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 11, 20, 20. Nope, that's not how you count. 15, 16, 17, okay. They feel a little large, but I don't feel that bad about that. Maybe in the future we'll find like a Melt-A-Bomb STL and downscale it. I'm using this for prototyping. I would rather print the parts than go through my bits. I know I have the spare bits, but part of the conceit of what I'm doing here is a whole show about me putting together an army that I have 3D printed. I know I'm not the first to do so, but that's what I'm having fun doing. And I am certainly having fun doing this. This is awesome. One of the nice things is because I'm using the lower vent, the upper vent is a contact point. So, normally you should do this with the pack off, okay? But this is a late edition. And that's what we're doing. We're just gonna have to persevere. Kinda real gently smooth that out. There we go. There it is. Just gonna kind of slice off the tip of the handle of the Melt-A-Bomb. Now, on purpose or not, this one ended up kind of leaning in closer to the body, which I think looks better. So that they're not just jutting directly out, but they're kind of angled inward. Oh, that's a lot. I'm just going to dab a little bit of that off on the... Oh, no. The other one stuck to my finger. Came off. And this one's, like, glued to me. Oh, dear. We're gonna have to try that again. It does look all right. I'm wondering if maybe what I should do is cut more of the melt-a-bomb off and have them be like a flat canister on the bottom. Rather than having a rounded bottom, have them have a flat bottom. And then their connection points is going to be, yeah. You know, I'm just straight up going to try that right now. So the connection point is here. We have this groove here. I'm going to slice through that. Kind of trim to flatten her out. Actually, would it look better with the connection point being this flat component? I have not cut this very well. The answer is kinda no. Alright, so what I'm actually gonna do, I'm gonna try and... Well, this is on there pretty solid. Oop, I popped the hand off. Oh well. And I've popped this arm off. Oh man, that backpack's on there good. We're gonna have to just live with this. We will fix these in a moment. Not a big deal. Not super sturdy, but I wanted to pin a lot of this stuff, but I found it's almost impossible to pin through this resin. I just cannot get it to dig or bite through. Just does not want to go. Alright, so we're just gonna have to do this. I think without this arm, the axe in the arm in the way, this will be a little bit easier. This does take up the space behind that, so maybe that is a bit of a negative. Could maybe... No, that's going to interfere with the jetpack. And it'll just look like a melt-a-bomb if I put it down there. Interesting. Okay. So I think I have decided I am going to use something like these melt-a-bombs. I think it does look good. I think these melt-a-bombs are too large for what I want to do. And I'm fighting the urge to go just start hunting for an STL already. But we will hold off for a second while we do a quick reassembly. We want to make sure he's got his sick axe in the right position. And we can probably glue the head in. Or glue the Broodlord head in. And once we've done that, I think it's time to move on to the next member. I'm kind of avoiding the two members that are aiming down their sights right now till... Wow, that did not want to stick, did it? Tell you what, we'll do just like we did with we're doing with the Broodlord head. We're just gonna leave that to cure. I'm still kind of shaking off the rust of dealing with super glue. It's been a very long time from learning how it behaves. So we kind of want this thing hanging like it's downward, yeah. Just like that. It's got a nice flat surface, so this should be a decent bond. Assuming that I can actually hold it on there. There we go. There we go. Look at him. He's got his head. Paint some blood all over that. It'll be good. So one of the things I think it's actually, we're gonna leave the power packs off the rest of them separate, just because we know that we're going to go make those modifications once we've selected a more suitable component for them. I'm just kind of fighting my urge to want to just build Space Marines, because there's something cathartic about slapping the pieces together. It's just like I could work on an assembly line and just build Space Marines all day. Let's see. Bastille. Okay, Primaris, Hellblasters, Bastille. Oh, they got the gun. Here. I lied. I'm doing this again. I lied. I lied to you. So what is this? Does this include the backpack? Got hit plates. It's got a backpack. But it does not have... Does not have... Here, let's see this. Let's go Melt Bomb STM. That's for 40k cosplay. Oh, I could probably scale that thing down to be tiny. Although I'd be worried about the details. Lots of melted guns. It's surprised there's not just a melta bomb. Cassican? Interesting. Interesting. There's not just this, you know, melta guns, melta weapons. There's 40k cost, right? This is a nice, like, big melt bomb, but... Huh, I wonder if the vented barrels of a melta gun would work too. They probably would, but I think I prefer this. Let's try. Do it. No, it is. Oh wow, this thing's actually huge. Okay. Let's try this. Warhammer Melt Bomb V2. Nope. Not looking for something that large. 28 in here. I'm going to download that file because I might be able to just scale that down, but something tells me that's not as smoothly as I want it to. Interesting. Normally I can, between these sites, find these, but it does not appear to want to occur. And I don't want to have to print an entire Casterkin. They'd hope that it'd come in parts and I could just print the hand, but it does not appear that this is the case, because it appears to only have one file. Yeah, that's all one piece. I'm just going to drop this in the 3D printing thing. I'm going to open up Lychee. While we continue to scan for other stuff. This is the one that I saw earlier that was very large. try Hell Blaster. Open this. We're gonna drop this in here. Yes. Bring that back. We'll drop this in here. Wow, that's big. I'm surprised it fits in the bed somehow. But what I can do is do scaling. Go way down. Way down. Here, I'm gonna get a reference piece, reference shoulder pad. Just grab whatever this one is. Oh, perfect. I'm gonna compare the shoulder pads to one of these melt bombs. Okay, they're about the same height, and this one I have as well. So this could work perfectly. That being said, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to print it right now. We'll print it another time. I need 2 per guy, which means I need 10 minimum. I don't know, 19 copies. Okay, that means that there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 18, that's 20. I'm gonna fit another 20 in here. And another 19 I should. Boom. Alright, and I should be able to do these as arrow cyclers. Export. Export slice to file. No need for you to watch the ad. Just take a drink of my soda. Delicious Coke. Sponsor me, please. Sponsor me with a lifetime of Coke. Arrow cycler. Like that. And we're gonna hopefully re-glue this arm back into the right place. And hopefully here in a bit I will be able to just go get the shoulder pads. Alright, so this arm's back in place. So Ralof himself has almost got his main assembly done. I've not given names to the other Battle Brothers, but I have, like, went through and kind of picked out individual bits for them. Like, I have this guy who I was originally assembling first, but ended up stopping because I realized I actually kind of need some green stuff if I want to get his arms to sit right. Like I said, these arms, these posable arms are actually really cool, but they come with this drawback that the shoulder bit appears to be sized for firstborn, as opposed to Primaris. So the length of the arm is right, but the shoulder size into the socket feels a bit small. So I've had to do some finagling. And one of the things is, in order to get them to actually sit so that he's aiming down his bolter, is to, scoot those over there, is to then get some green stuff or something in order to tilt the angle just a little bit. So let's see, who shall we do next? I think an easy one to do... Let's see. These are the two... These are not the two same ones. These are the two same ones. So I'm going to take one of these two, because I have two of them with the same lower body. And it's important that when you're trying to make a visually interesting thing, that you differ. It's okay if they share components, but you want to kind of try and differentiate them. you want to kind of differentiate them. So I have, I have a limited number of legs that were the right level of motion that I wanted, since the legs really determine the motion of a model. Or they're the largest influencing factor on the motion of a model, I should call. Let me just clip off the base here. And I want these guys are intercessors, the Gray Hunters. I wanted them to have the kind of in the middle. So I didn't select like the forward lunging legs, and I didn't want to, aside from ralof in this guy, I didn't want to select the completely static legs. Weirdness there with my computer. I didn't want the completely static legs. And ralof I only have completely static because he's like doing something with his upper body, and the other guy is kind of got extra accoutrements to make him look like he's aiming and shooting accurately. Now this guy, I'm actually going to do the unique of these two. These two legs are the same legs. So what I wanted to do was really differentiate their upper bodies. And so one of them, I decided I was going to go ahead and do a standard aiming shooting pose, kind of like he's firing on the move with these auto bolters. On the other hand, on this guy, I am going to do his bolter and a knife, kind of like he's just stabbed an opponent that he's moved up on. Or that he's moving up to stab an opponent, or he's just stabbed one and is moving on. Just kind of cleaning up the nubs. They can seem small. If you don't clean them up from where the supports didn't snap off cleanly, they will show up when you paint. And boy, are they ugly. I actually find one place that needs a little trim. It's usually the ends of the bottoms of the plates around the ankle. There's usually a little bit of extra hanging off there from the support. So we're just going to get this guy onto his base. And I'm starting with the base. I'm not putting a lot into the bases right now. I intend to rebase them at some point in the future. And right now I'm just kind of doing it so that I can handle the Mini and it has a thing to stand on. So we're not doing any like pinning on the base or anything. We're just gluing them in. We can snap them off if we need to. Just gonna let this sit. And I'm gonna leave the power pack separate from this, because in the future I intend to do what I was trying with this and adding the melt-a-bomb components as aerocyclers, which from the file you just saw me assemble, for those of you who are here. There's a little bit I gotta clean up here. Now let's get me a torso. Now, for those of you that missed it last time, one of the important things about cutting these supports off is make sure that when you use your clippers, and you get in there and you clip, that you check and make sure that none of your clipper is actually on the component itself, because the supports can be quite thick, quite sturdy, especially since I have to do them a little thicker due to the weather in my area being a little on the warm side for the most part. So I kind of need a little more material to hold my stuff together, because it takes a little bit extra to harden. Like, it's a little soupier, so it needs a little extra support. Hopefully that won't show up too bad. There we go, that does it. Take a little bit off the edge here. Just double check this one. But when you squeeze down on the supports with your clippers and you're touching the component, you will slice into the component. So you want to be very careful when you do that. I'm gonna take this. Let's see. And I actually think I'm going to turn him the other way and kind of lean him forward. Actually, it might require some modifications now that I'm looking at this. This is why you dry fit before you put glue on anything like I just did. He stands very tall up, and I can lean him forward except for the edges of these posts right here, the plates. Mine have hip plates, kind of like Hellblasters. I don't know why this pack I got has those, but I am keeping them because I like them. We're just going to kind of shave this away, just a little bit at the corner here. Be real gentle, because this should be hidden under the plate, but it is interfering. Just got to shave away a little bit so that we can lean him forward a little bit more. And want to do this progressively, a few slices at a time, because if you don't, you cut away too much, it's going to look funky. Like right here, I've got enough on one side, but I need to get rid of a little bit more on this side. You can see actually where it is this component right here. And that should sit just like that. Okay, excellent. Now we've got it. Now it fits. Oh, don't want to put them on backwards. Kind of want them turned this way and leaning forward, just as far as I can get this to lean forward. Yeah, just like that. So he's kind of... you know what I should have checked? I should have checked what the arm holding the knife was. Oh yeah, I was correct. It is this arm. Oh yes. Because he's holding his bolter in his left hand by the forestock. Yes, now I remember. And I'm going to have him kind of holding it out to the side and behind him, and then the knife's going to kind of be down, like point down between his legs. Almost like he was stepping over someone, stabbed them, pulled it out, kept going. Yum, yum, yum. So, just had to stand up, stretch my legs for a second. Now I'm sitting back down. Okay. Now, normally I would attach the power pack at this point, but, you know, as stated, we're gonna experiment with that. We'll have to figure out how to do it on him, but, you know, we'll manage. This is our first pack. We're learning things as we go. Okay. So I swear I just had... Ah, yes, here we are. I'm going to get his knife. Gonna clip it off here. I want to be gentle because the knives are a little on the thin side. At least as far as other things go. Oh, I almost clipped off the end of the handle. It's got kind of a chip in it. That's fine. That'll look okay. Yeah, that'll be okay once there's paint on it. Set that knife there. Get here. Now we want to find his auto bolter, which it is this auto bolter. Getting that out back there. Clip away the supports. Just gentle. Click. We can clean this up with our knife. Oh, there it is. Just making sure I keep track of the pieces. One of the things you don't really appreciate about having stuff on sprues that you can just snap off. So once these things are off, they're pretty easy to lose. And sprues are big old pieces, but it's pretty easy to lose these bits in this mass. Real gentle. I don't want to actually slice that part off. I just want to get that tab. Cut that clean. Looking good. All right. And here's his auto bolter held in the blink. Oh, yeah. No, it's held in the left hand. It is. It is. Looking a little weird for a second, but no, it's in the right hand. Okay. So now we got to figure out what kind of arm. So I'm thinking that we take this and we kind of angle like an arm straight down and then an angle one, like angle it inward towards his legs here. So maybe something like this one. Something like, turn it that way a little bit. Something like that. That actually seems almost perfect. So then we attach the knife to it, kind of so that it's sticking down towards, maybe something a little bit more down here. Well, no, we definitely want this turned to this way. Kind of down between his legs, like he stabbed someone and has just stepped over them as he done it. Yeah, I think that's about right. So get this in here. Oop. Kind of get it just like that. Ah, stuck to me. Then the hand goes like down this way. Yeah, that works. That works pretty well. And double pull. I pull this off so that I can actually glue it. Put some super glue on that. Just slot this right in. Doesn't want to go all the way back in. Interesting. Get in there. There we are. She's right in the right place too. Alright, we'll let that dry for a second. So for his other arm, I want him holding it like almost straight up, right? Be kind of like almost like this, so that it's parallel to his body. Like he was, you know, holding it out of the way so he could do work with the other arm. Tell you what, we've given this a few seconds. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna dab this on. We're gonna go ahead and get this hand on there. You know, I think we're gonna have to go the other way. I think we're gonna have to go on the outside of the leg. It just doesn't look quite right on the inside. Like now that I'm holding it in place and actually gluing it, doesn't look quite right. Yeah, that actually looks a lot better to have it off to the side there. Have to get some blood on that knife. Stand and stretch time. I think this guy will be go a long way to. Obviously, I know it's the meta choice for a Space Wolf successor, but Born Heroes and Whirlwind of Rage is my chapter tactics. Yeah, I know it's meta, but I started this before it was meta, and I felt it really. Well, before I knew it was meta, I should say. But I felt that like the double exploding sixes and the +1 to hit. The +1 to hit was a good homage to the Space Wolves themselves, since that's obviously one of their chapter tactics. So that highlighted the similarity, and I think that's probably the reason a lot of people run that in their Space Wolves lists, is they run that instead of Hungry for Battle, which is probably honestly the better like non-White Scars melee setup, because it makes you faster and more reliable advances and charges. But, you know, if you're playing Space Wolves, you want to play Space Wolves, so I wanted to have a link to them. And then Whirlwind of Rage really does, like... I don't imagine it as rage, I just imagine it as raw, furious aggression. Because obviously, being shit-boarding action warriors, they fight in close quarters, and they need to very quickly overwhelm and destroy their opponents and move on before, you know, the defenders of the ship can really react. And so for me, that really represents the like raw aggression of their style, where they come barreling down it. So now, let's see. Probably. Actually, we could probably do this one with a bent elbow, maybe? I mean, like one of these. Kind of twist it this way. I gotta clean these two pieces up. These two pieces haven't been cleaned. Something like this off to the side, like maybe angle it downward a little bit, and then you end up with this like turned in underneath it, like it was being tucked in and carried, something like that. Oh yeah, that works pretty well. Alright, so let's clean these up, shall we? Now, one of the reasons I'm waiting for green stuff is I kind of need some gap filler. Just tiny amounts of gap filler for these arms. Which reminds me, I need to order a new bottle of resin. Just get this tabs off. Looking good. There were dogs behind me skittering around. They want their food. Get this on. And this brother will... He's the aggressive looking one. He's going to really sell the kind of close combat nature. Which I've actually found like has happened repeatedly. One of my favorite things to do with my Space Wolves lists in 9th edition is put power packs or power fists on my pack leaders. I'm not going to do long fangs for this. I might convert some long fangs into Primaris long fangs at some point, but right now, the only non-Primaris units I'm using are Thunderwolf Cavalry and Wolf Guard. And that's just because there's not a good Primaris unit that really does the same thing as them. And even then, Wolf Guard is supposed to be representative of Blood Claws of the chapter, and if it wasn't for the fact that the Lightning Claws were so bloody cheap, I would have chainsaws on them. Obviously, I still do the Storm Shields, because that's one of the things they use. Because they issue Storm Shields, not really Storm Shields. I think I would prefer them to be Combat Shields for lore reasons. But they're basically Breaching Shields. They're Storm Shields. They do the same thing. And let you just barrel down these hallways into fire points in order to close with the enemy quickly. And of course, Thunderwolf Cavalry. Like, how could I not have my own version of the frickin' power armor super killers riding frickin' giant wolves fighting on a spaceship? Like, do you think I'm crazy? I'm not crazy. You're crazy. Alright. So let's see. Now that we've got this kind of dry, I like the idea of him setting it on his knee like this, on his hip. So I think I'm actually going to do that. I think that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to set it on the hip. And I might actually put a little glue down here on the hip too, just to help him find a good attach point. Oh, that's the wrong way. Oh yeah, this is good. Oh yeah, see that? Look at that. Tell me that doesn't look good. That is good stuff. Once I have my shoulder pads, and I can start completing some of this. Now I gotta find which. I believe I gotta find which head was his. One second, I'm just standing up, stretching, get a drink of my Coke. Just been a little stiff lately, so I'm trying to do that. Yeah, and we're back. Alright, so let's see. I believe I had just picked one out for him that had a skull on it. Kind of have to sort through my bits over here. Here we are. It was this guy. I gave him the skull because, hey, why not? The dude stabbing a dude, he gets a skull. He gets a pointy bit. He gets a dead bit on him. Yeah, that's good stuff. All right. This actually is a remarkably clean head. So how do we want to fit this on here? I kind of want him looking forward ahead. Do we want him to turn that way towards his gun or turn that way towards his knife? I think we turn towards his knife. I think we're going to kind of turn his head this way. And we're going to kind of, because obviously he's leaned forward, so we're going to have him tilted back so that we can actually, so that he can be looking forward. And I think that's how I'm going to put him in there. And I find that when you're assembling Space Marines, the arms are the primary director. Kind of the way I've noticed it is that with the motion for building these things, the legs kind of determine the direction of the chest. And then your arms, what they're doing relative to the chest, determines kind of where you want to point the head. And I find that that's just the best thing to do, is to do the head after the arms. Because then you can kind of guide it to make sure that he's looking with the appropriate expression that you want. And I want to make sure this guy's looking at me. There you go. Once he has his shoulders on, he'll appear a lot more like hunched and prowling almost. I'm really happy with this one. See, it's about 7:30. One second. Hey, did you feed them? Kitty?
Me?
Did you feed them? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. The small furry demons that live in my house were trying to fool me into feeding them more food.
There's only one furry demon talking to you.
Yeah, but it's the furry demon that does this. Alright. So let us return. Let's clean up your shoulder pad. Here's one of my pack marking shoulder pads.
Should we rename Trini to Loki? Its sister.
No, I think Trini's a good Trini. Alright, so this one has, I already cleaned this one up. One of the things that always messes me up about this, working with this resin, is that it's obviously got a semi-crystalline structure that forms in its core. Which means that sometimes when I have it, parts of it that are not the surface layer sparkle at me, and they look like pits and stuff, but they're not. They're just places where it's sparkly and crystalline. No, yeah, this boy will look real good with the power pack on him and his other shoulder pad. Alright, so here's another dude. Look at our boy. This is good stuff. I like this one. This one I had this idea to differentiate him from the one that was running and shooting, and I really think that this has come out really well. I can't wait to see him fully assembled. Same for ralof. I'm surprised at how well this has come out. Obviously, they're going to need some other bits before I can do anything, but before they look proper, but that's what we're doing. Now, at this stage, I think it is time for me to take a second break and go retrieve the shoulder pads, because I believe at this point they should be done. In the future, hopefully I'll be able to take you guys with me, but right now I have not set that up. And I'm going to find you a different Pinterest image to stare at that's pretty. Here, let's see some of these eliminators. Ta-da! There you go. And I shall mute and return. turns out we have another 30 minutes. So we'll be back. By the way, that was a kill team. A really good-looking Primaris kill team. I'm really impressed with that one. Might stare at it a bit more later. Now, got this boy, and we're going to do some more finishing up once we've got these details in place. Which leaves us with this guy, who is going to be our charging cheer boy. Well, I think I've decided I'm going to put another knife. I was originally trying to do like maybe a fist pump or a point, but actually the knife feels right. And besides, I might try to make him pointing with the knife. That'll feel right. Just kind of get these. This guy's got a pretty good support structure between his legs. That is what she said. Sorry, I'm 12. Just gotta get it in there. Pop, there we go. Pop this monkey. Which is a good website for finding stuff. I actually, the arms came off of Pop Goes the Monkey. Which I might actually end up getting my shields from there. Which, of course, soon in the future, we will do the crediting, the great credit hunt, where I will make sure I go through and find all of the credits for these 3D STLs that I am using. Because right now I've just kind of grabbed them. I was in the process of learning before I decided I really wanted to do this for 3D, but I didn't model these myself. And thus, I want to make sure that the fantastic 3D modelers that did this do get their credit. So I will be doing a credit hunt at some point in order to ensure that that happens. So let's get him on his base. Again, this is more for manipulation than anything else. Okay. Now we should have one more auto bolter. Now that's Ralof's auto bolter, which I will be mounting on him. Here is this guy's auto bolter. He's holding it in his main hand. He's actually got the auto bolter out. I'm gonna be careful. Don't clip the component itself. And it's okay to like clip closer to the raft than it is like than the model, because a lot of times the reason you can't just snap the model out is because all of these supports are connected to each other via the raft, and it means that they're supporting each other. They are supports after all, and that they are together, apes together strong and all that. And so by taking the time to clip the raft off, you disconnect those things so that they're not quite as strong. And then, you probably only have to clip a few more before the whole structure starts coming apart and leaves your model intact. I'll be gentle, don't want to overdo it because there are rivet points on this. Okay. So we got his gun, and his gun he's going to be like holding off to the side down here at rest, kind of down here by his leg. And then he's going to be doing something with his other hand. And I'm thinking I want to try and maybe take one of these knife hands, like this knife hand, which is a right hand knife hand, actually, so I can't do that hand. Oh dear. Might have to get fancy with this one. Let's see what we got. These are all right hands, aren't they? Yeah, they're all right hands. So that's those are out. So we can't do the knives because those are the wrong hand. But these things. These are also right hands. Did I somehow stumble upon not being able to have a left hand for this guy? Well, ho ho ho. Have we messed up? There should be a hand in here somewhere for him. Definitely remember printing one. I went out of my way. Let's see what we got. This is one of the drawbacks 3D printing is if you forget something at an earlier stage, then you run into the issue that you don't just have one available. I might break into my bits box to correct this. These are just the arms. And there's no more pieces in this mass of sprues right here, I don't think. Nope, alas not. Okay. So we don't have a left hand for this guy. And I am right hand. And then these knives are also right hands. So yeah. Alright, so I'm going to break my bits box for this one. There's no reason to do a whole print just for him. Just for one hand. I definitely have something hanging around that I can use. That's a right hand. Do a sword. It's a power sword, though. Axe is a right hand axe. That's a right hand. That's a right hand. It's a right hand. It's a guardsman arm. Okay, this is a left hand. I could clip off the bolter maybe. That might come in handy. Oh, whoa! What are these? Oh, these are smoke launchers. I'm going to set those aside. Those might actually... I think I know what to do with the air recyclers. They don't look that great. I can actually maybe do that. This is right-hand bolter. Bolt pistol. Oh, man. Another heavy bolter. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. This is a... Oh, this power sword is left-handed. This old power sword is left-handed. Okay, I think I'll use this power sword hand. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut the hand free. Gently. Cut it there. Cut it there. Ooh. Push. This plastic's pretty sturdy. It's a lot softer and less brittle than the... Alright, we're just gonna shave down this piece. I was maybe hoping to keep the clear that out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and modify this a little bit. I'm going to rip off the power set, the coils. That one power coil. It's a little bent, but we'll be okay. Here we go. Here we go. Smooth these areas out. Alright, that should do the trick. I'm actually just gonna use this hand as is with the sword. With the skull off and with the hilt off and the other the power coils off, this should still look like a knife. Maybe like a sword rather than just a knife, but that's good enough. So, we got these. And now we need a chest. Take that off. Get in here. Clip. 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 Ooh, careful, careful. Don't cut that eel. Now, on others, I'm going to try and get like Phobos or Reaver chest plates on other packs, but I imagine Squad Ralof here is quite a devout follower of the Emperor. You know, he's really into the All-Father. You know, all of them are, but he wants to really show it, you know? He wants to really show it off. So his guys still have Aquilas on their chest. Whereas others, I'm going to try and do non-Aquila parts. Or non-Aquila chest plates. So we have a left hand pointing. So I kind of want to angle him this way. And I do think I want to keep him like straight up though. I don't think I need any modifications here. So we can just go straight up. By the way, this is why we're supposed to clean stuff up before we do things, because then like we look right here and go, oh, there's a giant nub right there. I thought I cleaned this up, but there was a giant nub right there just staring at me. We want his left side kind of pushed forward. Whoop. Kind of pushed forward, because he's going to be thrusting this sword out. It's kind of like a challenge, right? He's going to be thrust it out here. Then he's going to have this hanging at his side. Means I do need one that a shoulder that kind of sticks out. This, by the way, after figuring out how to do these sides, these things from Pop Goes the Monkey, these sprues of arms that have a shoulders at different angles and elbows at different angles, have been great for this. Rather than trying to have to find a whole bunch of individual files, I've been able to assemble the arms as I go. This has been a great boon. Okay, that's too far out. Same deal. Nope. Might actually have to go into another sprue finally. So let's... So this is the really far out one. So we want like this one right here. Cut that clear. Let's see, what do we think? Yeah, that actually looks about right. Well, and we want a straight elbow because he's going to be like thrusting, you know, pointing the sword back out at you. Yeah, kind of out there like that. Then we need to find a straight cuff. You got a straight cuff right here. This one should be close enough. Just got to clean off the nubs of the leftover supports. I don't think that's straight enough. So I'm actually going to break into the sprue some more. Because I think the straight ones on these got used over here. So, but I want to have a straight one for this because, again, I want this to be a kind of hard line to the end. Dudes are popping off. It's okay, this is a bit of a mess. I'll have to go through and reorganize. I actually have a whole bunch of shelves and stuff right here that I'm going to be filling a lot of these things into. Right now, this is in an experimental stage where I didn't even know if I wanted to keep using these sprues. No reason to cut them up and make a mess if I wasn't going to use them, right? Got the raft off. But in the future, when I print these, I'm just going to take them apart, break them down into their components, and throw them into a drawer together so that they're not scattered all over the place. That straight cuff I'm hunting is right here. But knocked my boy over. Okay. So this should be my straight cuff. Just gonna set it on just like that. Okay, I'm just gonna go straight into gluing it because I know exactly where it's going. We are getting there. Boom. Slides right in. Slots right in. That one won't even need gap filler. Boom. And his arm will be right on this, just like that. Perfect, actually. We're gonna go ahead and glue that on right now. You know, I noticed that there's a distinct lack of music, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think that might be? Weird. Wonder why it just stopped. I had that to loop. Okay. Here we are. Now he's got a sword hand and pointing out. Yeah, oh, looking good. Kinda Something like this down at his side. Nah, that's too far out. Something flatter. Something more like this. Yeah, that'll work. Just kind of continue using our opposable arms here to our advantage. Just kind of glue that guy in there. And this guy probably wants a slight angle to his, I'm getting a lot better at, like, just seeing where these things are gonna be before I even put these pieces on. Like, yep, this is going exactly where I thought it was gonna go. Boop. Gonna go right there. Give this a second to dry because I gotta apply some pressure to the shoulder to make sure everything stays in place. But as we can see, he's coming together. He's not the sergeant. I would be a little concerned about whether or not he looks too important with the sword, but I'm gonna say that the guy with the giant F-off axe and the Broodlord head still looks like the sergeant. Just kind of angle it outwards a little bit. Just like that. Check him out. These are coming together really well. And like I planned them out in the part selection stage, despite my blunders of not actually printing all of the correct pieces and having to go print extra stuff today, these guys are actually turning out really well. And I'm definitely feeling the different personalities. Even though Ralof's the only one with the name, I definitely can tell Senior Stabums here is very aggressive. This guy's probably very boastful. He's, you know, doing his work with the trophy in the saga. Actually, I might even say this guy's like encouraging. Looking good. Yeah. Got about another 10 minutes before we get to that. Oop, knock that guy over. So let's get him his pack. Let's get him his pack pad. Clean this up. So we're just waiting on those shoulder pads at this point. Well, I suppose there's more to do. Like, obviously we have bits we can add. Oh, no! That did not quite adhere properly. So we're going to try this again. There's a good chance this probably you could have used a pin, but again, I'm having significant amounts of trouble pinning these pinning through this damn resin. Stay. No, not yet. Now we gotta hold it longer. We're just gonna leave him. We're just gonna let that cure. So we want to be gentle with this boy. I would like to pin that, but I'm gonna have to get some stuff because the hand pin vise that I've been using, this boy right here, I am struggling so hard just to get like a millimeter past the surface of this resin. Like, it is some hard wearing stuff. It takes some effort to cut and modify this, which I suppose is good because it doesn't mean that the models are rather durable. Okay. Let's get the legs of our last boy in place, shall we? Where are those legs? There are the legs. Now, he's got the same legs as him. but I'm going to have him doing something different. So let's get him a base so that we have our 5th and final pack member. I'm going to go ahead and clip him free. Again, like always, being careful not to accidentally slice into the model with my clippers. A very easy thing to do, because these clippers are pretty good, and you kind of do have to squeeze pretty hard to start breaking some of these supports. Especially, you know, like I've mentioned previously, warm weather means that I kind of have soupy resin, which is not a problem. I just have to set to a slightly thicker support than otherwise. And it works just fine. It just means I gotta be a little careful when taking these apart, because it can be really easy to cut into the piece, because it takes a fair chunk of squeeze to... Let's get them on our pad. Our base. Click, click. Look at you. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to take this. I'm going to have this guy here for comparison, because it's actually kind of important that I make the upper bodies different here. Like, I don't want this guy... Woo! We almost lose a piece here. I mean, like, we don't want this guy looking the same, with the same motion, because the lower bodies are exactly the same. So I want to make sure that, you know, my margin for differentiation is much smaller on these two models, and I need to make sure that they're different. So I actually do want this guy kind of standing upright. I thought about leaning him forward so that he was like sprinting. But I think maybe what we'll do is we'll angle him this way with his left arm forward so that he's aiming ahead, like he's running this way, shooting this way. And I think that's how we're going to do this. Hopefully, by the time I'm done with that, I can go get the shoulder pads. And we can do some more work on the other 3 we can actually finish today, aside from the power packs, of course. I might actually be a madman and just pour some more resin in and print those other things. Obviously, that won't be on stream because that's going to take some time, but I don't know, maybe I will stream that long. Who knows? I might be that crazy. He's going to be aiming this way with his auto bolter. So between the sword, the knife, and the axe, this should aptly demonstrate the close combat prowess of these intercessors, these Grey Hunters. And yes, they are intercessors, not assault intercessors. That's what I use for my troops choices mostly, in addition to some infiltrators. Just on account of, for a unit that I plan to sit on an objective rather than charge things, because these guys are not for taking objectives. If I want to take an objective, I slam Wolfguard into it and get the unit down, right? Like, I throw characters and Wolfguard and buffs and stuff to break positions. These guys are for holding positions against retaliation. or taking weaker positions, like or especially holding a position in the wake of destroying a, from taking it, making sure that that point stays mine, especially since they have obsec and the Wolfguard don't. And I find that they don't, while they do charge, they tend not to charge for like 3 turns. And I have to ask myself, is it better to have 3 additional turns of auto bolter fire, or 2 turns of them having chainswords? While I do think that the chainswords are very deadly, the extra attack and the extra AP is really good, I find that more often than not, I end up shooting them for 2 to 4 turns of the game, and usually in the Assault Doctrine, then I charge them. And by that point, they're already AP 1, and they have basically Tesla in melee when they charge. And with the Power Axe / Power Fist, Power Fist / Thunder Hammer, say that Ralof has, that I'm using the axe for, I find that with that having Tesla, and their attacks being AP -1 from Assault Doctrine, and having basically Tesla, I find that I don't need the extra AP and the extra attack from the chainswords. And I find myself really enjoying being able to pump out the 15 shots per intercessor squad from their auto bolters to soften enemies up. So that way they can kind of do their job and still affect other parts of the fight without having to really barrel into, without constantly having to charge enemies. Because a common thing I noticed, especially since a recent match I had on TTS was against Space Wolves, it was a mirror match, but they were running a lot of Blood Claws as their troops. I think they literally had 20 Blood Claws. At least one pack of Blood Claws sat in a corner doing nothing the whole time. And I was just thinking, if those guys were intercessors, which are a little more expensive, of course, but if those guys were intercessors, they could have been shooting me, because there was stuff to shoot from that corner if you just, poked out of the ruin a bit, stepped into the room. There's plenty to shoot in there. And there was not a lot of ways I could shoot back, just because of the way the board was set up. And I'm just thinking, it's really kind of, and, I looked at my intercessors, because that's what I was running at the time, who I was able to advance onto a point and shoot and shave wounds off a rhino, or shoot into one of his Blood Claw units that was advancing and pick dudes out to seriously weaken them. And I'm like, that just really did feel like I'd rather have the shooting here. Because it's not like, in that game he deep struck White Wolfguard next to one of my forward intercessor squads. They were Storm Shield, Lightning Claw, except for the Sergeant who had 2 Lightning Claws. He deep struck it next to him, charge, failed to charge. It happens. But then, on my turn, I just turned and shot and charged the Wolfguard. And my intercessor squad was able to, because they had the Power Fist with Tesla, so you can charge in there, you have a Sergeant with 4 attack space, and aftershock assault, and double exploding 6s and hitting on 3s. I got like 1-6, and all of a sudden, missed 1, got 1-6, and all of a sudden I've hit more times than I had attacks. Wound on 2s, he fails 2 of them. I think I wounded all of them. I hit 5 times, wounded all of them. He failed 2 saves. And all of a sudden, almost half his Wolfguard squad is gone, and I haven't even rolled the other 12 attacks. Which, they had 3 ups to defend against those, but they still lost, another Wolfguard and a half to all of the attacks. That wasn't even a particularly scary roll. It was just, in 12 attacks, you're likely to miss 4, but I'm likely to get 2 6s, so I'm likely to hit 12 times, and I got a little bit better than that. So I actually ended up hitting, 14 times, doing my wounds. I rolled pretty good on the wounds. And he got a little unlucky, but he only took 3 wounds from them, but that was enough that, he had, a dude with 3 Lightning Claw, or 2 Lightning Claws, and 1 dude with 1 Lightning Claw left. Oh, and I did shoot them first. Oh yeah, no, he only had the sergeant left actually, because I actually did. I think I did a wound. I might have done 2 wounds in shooting. Either way, the point was that I was able to move, shoot, charge a Wolf Guard unit that was retaliating, but because I was in the assault doctrine with my Whirlwind of Rage, I was able to output so much damage. I was able to output so much fighting power without the need for the chainswords. And this is in addition to the fact that they were picking off a blood claw here and there. They picked off wounds off a rhino here and there. So I just feel like the chainswords are overkill for my troops. Because obviously I am running 2 squads of Blood Wolf Guard and a squad of Blade Guard. Like, I have close combat missiles heading into your face. I have a chaplain on a bike, the armor of rust. I have a warrior-born Imperium sword Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf with the teeth of Terra bearing down on you, like, and a Thunderwolf cavalry unit. Like, I've got enough melee as it is. I think the extra anti-infantry shooting could be a big difference, because if I thin out certain units, and then my other units can kill them much easier. And as for the end of that rant, we should be able to go get our stuff. Let's find you another picture to look at while I mess with my printer. Ooh, I like this one. This is a Golden Demon winner. From the unofficial Golden Demon website. Oh, wow, that is a Logan Grimnar thing, and it is gorgeous. So, I shall return, enjoy the music while I go get the goopy stuff. And I've got my shoulder pads. This printing stuff is dangerous, by the way, because, like, I wasn't going to print the Aerocyclers. I put the Aerocyclers on. Scaled down milk bombs print right now. They're going to be done in an hour. I was supposed to, like, clean that up, but I'm like, we're still streaming. I still got time. I'm not ending. Oh, boy, man. Falling right into the traps, ladies and gents. It's getting me. I'm addicted. I'm addicted to turning reds and hard. Just like your girlfriend's addicted to turning me hard. Ha 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 ha. Well, sorry. I couldn't not. That one was too perfect. Alright. We'll leave the shoulder guards alone for a moment. While we pick up some heads. If I recall correctly, who's it who I gave the regular intercessor's head to? I think I gave the regular intercessor head to this guy. And the one that has the kind of N-looking symbol on it. The N-looking rune on it. I should actually sit down and learn some of these runes. I think that would actually go a long way to improving the models, as if I... Ooh, that's not my knife, that's a clipper. Is if I understand like a little bit more the context of what I'm actually putting on them. So this head, I don't know, do you want to like lean this guy's head like hard back like he's howling? Huh. And by the way, right now I'm just letting the alcohol finish drying off of these, just so they don't interfere with any of the gluing process. Interesting. Actually, I think we're going to give him like a level gaze. Because we already have like one person like howling, and that's ralof. Oh, the other two are going to have a level gaze. I'm going to say, and then his head is tilted back, but it is a level gaze. So actually, you know what? I changed my mind. We are going to go ahead and put this back like he's yelling or howling. We're gonna nice it back. We're gonna make sure it's lined up with the point of the sword. Just gonna hold that in there. There we go, just like that. Ooh! A woo! A woo, I declare. A woo. Not ooh. Oh. Ooh is for later. Alright, let's get back to it. Okay. So these should be able to... I'm gonna go ahead and peel one of these out and see how they look. Okay. So we gotta make sure we clip these, because I can see some issues with the jaw. The same issue that happened on the actual insignias themselves. It seems like in the design, the actual jaw plate of the lower jaw of the wolf is actually kind of delicate. At least when you're, you know, yanking and tearing it off the sprue and stuff. And that's one of the things you got to be aware of when you're working with this resin is it's very hard. So not only is it hard to drill in, makes it hard wearing, but it also makes it kind of brittle. So when you over torque something, it tends to snap instead of bend. But, well, it is a little more raised than I normally would usually see, but I think it looks fine. Let's go ahead and take it. Let's put it on ralof. Let's see how it looks. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, make sure we kind of raise this up a little bit. Now, how about that? That's a Space Marine, my friends. He'll look good with some bits and extra stuff added onto him, but I think we've done good here. And yes, I'm very pleased with these shoulder pads. I'm very pleased with them. So we're going to go ahead and get shoulder pads on the other three here. Although I did mess up. I printed a different kind for ralof. Is it too late to undo this? It is not. Good. We have saved it. Set this over here. we remembered things in time to save them. Because there is a different kind of Iron Wolf pad here. I printed ones with the skulls. Excellent. Okay. So let's try this again, shall we? With the right kind of shoulder pad this time, ladies and gentlemen. Right down his arm. Oop, that popped right back off. What happened there? Might have to glue this in a different spot, actually. Alright, we're gonna have to readjust this glue, because the way it sits on his shoulder, it's not actually down in the crevice. So we're gonna... So glue glop there, glue glop there. We're gonna kind of want to lean the shoulder pad towards the back too. There we go. That'll sit right in there. Good. Okay. He's got his shoulder pad. Let's get some on here. Get him his shoulder pad. We're setting his aside, but we want one for him. Trying to be careful with clipping these off the sprue just on account of, don't want to break the insignia, because it seems like one of the supports is chosen to anchor itself to the jaw of the lower jaw of the wolf, and if I'm not careful, it breaks off. Like it takes that piece with it. And I'm not gonna lie, the wolf looks kind of derpy without its lower jaw. Actually, it should be. To that. Excellent. Alright, so these guys all have everything but the power pack. And I kind of need the power pack on there to actually determine where to put these actual bits. But they are coming together. Can't believe I forgot to print the left hand for this guy. That's just such a silly move. But this has been me learning how to do the workflow for the most part. And I was able to improvise from my box of bits. And I think it looks right. Like, once that's painted and the, like, leftovers from the power coils that I had to that I shaved off, this will look like a blade. Especially since it doesn't have the skull on the bottom anymore. It'll look like a proper blade. I could even, if I wanted to, like, clip it sideways and shave that down to a point, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. We're gonna keep the sword shape. Although he's a little bent out of shape. Although we're slowly working him back in. Alright, let's see what else we could do to these boys. I think I'm going to try and pop this power pack off a second time. And I'm going to do something kind of crazy here. I'm actually... get it down and... there we are, we're wiggling it off. So I'm just kind of pushing my clippers into the gap here. Working it back and forth. Just leaving some marks, but that should be okay. Whew. He's on there pretty good, so... just gonna have to live with that one. On the bright side, it means that that's not coming off. But it is a future warning to getting these packs off. Like, I'll be able to get this one off? Probably not. These packs are actually glued on rather well. So that's why I'm not assembling the rest of this guy. Well, also, these two, I can actually kind of show you, because I have the shoulder that I have for him right here. I'm just going to slot that in. Is this guy's supposed to be aiming and shooting, right? But if I do this, he's like aimed way out here, which isn't quite going to line up with the rest of his body. So I actually kind of have to sit it at an angle in order for it to lie much more flush against his body. So I kind of have to sit it at an angle here. Which means I need some green stuff in order to support that. Like, in order to make sure that works right. And I might even have to shave it down to make sure the shoulder pad fits appropriately. If I take, like... this isn't the right side, but if I take like this and I set it where I need it, like... actually, it should still slot over it just fine. that actually... Is that a better way to do it? To glue it into its shoulder pad and then use the shoulder pad as a... I'm gonna go ahead and get this shoulder in here, because this arm, this piece of the arm, I know how I want. I know exactly how these pieces fit together. You know, until I push this into its socket and it doesn't. Oh, did I mess up? I think I just messed up. I just realized I don't think I actually cleaned these up, so I think these guys are... No, we're gonna... Creative. Or, better yet, we just get a new arm. Because we have a bunch. Remember? Get this one, and we get like a... This one of the max turns, or is... It's one of the max turns. I think it's this one. Make sure these guys are cleaned up. That's not a turn at all. That's barely a joint. Whoop. Yeah, that's better. Do myself a reglue. This is one of the disadvantages of working with resin models, is that I can't use plastic glue. Yeah, set that there, let that cure. But it might actually be a worthwhile attempt. My other shoulder pads brew. Ego pads. Oh, that's right, I disassembled it. They're right here. It might be a worthwhile thing to do, instead of using green stuff, to glue this into its shoulder pad and use the shoulder pad to support it. Something like this. Right there. Then while it's like that, we maybe cover that up. And then like sandwich glue it in place. The question is the other arm. If I take this, let me clean this up a little bit just to figure this out. It's funny how, like, getting the, like, weird axe that doesn't go with this kit to fit and be in the right place and converting in the head seems to be half the pain in the butt of making sure that the damn arms line up on their damn guns. You know? So, I don't know, let's do this one. It's relatively straight, but we'll see. Oh no, come on. Hold on. I need to shave this component down. The contact area on it is really small. And I don't, like I said, I'm having a lot of trouble pinning this stuff. There we go. That should do the trick. And yeah, I am very much struggling. I'm also didn't let that cure quite long enough to be done, but do 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 do. The idea is fell off anyways. Oh man. I guess it just got overeager again. Like this is my fault. Set it down, let that sit. We're gonna stop messing with this guy. I'm just gonna set those over there for now. Oh, these were for him. Wait a minute. Yeah, these were for him. And this is a different guy. But he is actually supposed to be aiming this way. That's not enough of a bend. I will say some of these, they don't quite get enough bend in them. Like there's no like 90-degree elbow. Pop that boy out. Clean him up. Here. Yeah, it's a much steeper angle. So if we want the gun shooting this way, yeah, we still have to mount it kind of like this. Tell you what, we're gonna just experiment on this. We're just gonna put glob stuff here. And I know it's gonna be a weak bond at first, but we're gonna experiment. We're gonna do this without the gun on there. Actually, no, we want it like that. Just gonna let it sit. Here's the other auto bolter, which I'm just going to clip from its thing. And clean up. And one of the problems is I'd intended to maybe keep these pieces separate for painting purposes on these two, because these guys, obviously, I need to paint the Aquila, so they're a little bit across the chest. In order for it to be firing, it puts it not quite there, but if I could shave it down a little bit so that it's at an angle. You know, let's try it. We're just gonna... I'm probably gonna have to pop these off anyways. Try this. I needed more. Sometimes I just don't get enough on there. Like I just, it looks like it's got a glob, but it doesn't. It's just like got a little glaze, like a little shininess. The hint of existence. We're just gonna tick, 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 tick. We're just gonna set them like that. Kind of reduce strain on it. I'll take this. Let's see what I can do with this. See, this is the problem I'm running into. Is these offhands are very short for the length of these auto bolters. Like, look at how short that is. If we look at these guys, which these are mirrored so that they're the other hand, but the wrist goes all the way out there. Like I said, they look like they're the right length, but for some reason this shoulder component is shorter. Oops. I guess it's really only the upper arm bit that is shorter, because the other parts are all the same. So the upper arm bit seems to be a bit whack. So if I instead were to glue this to the hand, where would that end up? That would end up so damn far forward. I don't know if green stuff's gonna help that. Interesting. Interesting. So I might have to use a different style arm, maybe? For like the standard aim and shoot pose? Because it seems like the upper arm section is what's short. And on most of these, that's not a problem, because I just mount the shoulder part a little bit lower and then mount the shoulder pad back in the right place, so they have the right scale arms. But right here, I'm running into this issue where I'm not being able to connect my second arm to the bolter when it's aimed out this way. And unfortunately, these are currently mirrored for the wrong way. Although I probably can repose this, actually. Yeah, we're going to try some surgery here. We're going to try something, lads. We don't need that hand. What we want is... I did something similar. That didn't come out right. Well, actually, no, I think it did. And because this is going to end up under the arm, although even then, look at this. I know my auto bolters are just too big. Because that's what it feels like. Because this arm I just used one of the right arms that I was taking the hands from here. But I mean, it's... Look how far forward that has to be mounted. That's like on the Aquila. Yeah. It might be the auto bolters, actually. Which I don't really want to downscale them because I love the size. I don't know, except the thing is that, well, these, on this auto bolter, I managed to get it to line up. I clipped the hand off there. Well, that might be because it's actually angling the other way. Okay, let's look for... Do you have a full extension? I need a full extension lower arm. So this one I want a straight extension. There is... Take this guy. You want a, like, straight ahead extension. Maybe we try that. Let me see if this reaches a bit further. No, see, this is a straight extension. It's still, like, freaking quarter-inch short. I actually just don't think this is going to work for the auto bolters. It's weird. Because it's working for everything else. It's all the right scale. Right? And have... I suppose they are a little short, but they're not that short. But yeah, no, these are about the right bits. But the auto bolter is really long. I think these things are slightly short, and it's only really coming up with the, like, really extended auto bolter arm. So do I have any spare... I got some spare bolt rifles. Do I have any spare arms? Heads. These are like knives and belt bits. Just don't see any additional arms. So, here. No. Okay. So this is, you know, part of the process of learning how to do this is figuring out the bumps along the way. And I've kind of found a weakness in my really nice posable arms. They work really well with these guys. Right? And they work well with this. But they're not doing so well matching up with the auto bolter scale that I got here. I mean, even then... Well, okay, so one of the things I think is really going on is that with these auto bolters is you see that this angle here versus this angle, you can see the difference in the angles here. This gun is so much further away, so I actually think that this problem might not lie with the length of the arms, but the angle that I can actually get out of their, pop that off. Get out of their, thing. So I think for these guys, I don't even want to use these posable arms. When I want to do the bolter kind of needs to take up the full extent of the arms, unless the bolter's on its own. Like, for these, it works just fine, right? Because they're off on their own. You know, here. But when I'm trying to get these to connect, I think I need steeper angles across the way. Because I think actually making the line from the shoulder, I just don't have a deep enough angle, and I think that just means my arms are too short. So it does mean I need to do a little improvising. Well, actually, it means I need to print more damn bits. Kind of wish I had come to that conclusion earlier, because then when I did the arrow cyclers, I could have attached it to that. But I didn't. Right. On the other hand, so we're going to set these guys off to the side. We're going to work on our boys here. Well, I need the power packs for them, don't I? I'm very pleased with what I got. This will be kind of a good point to end the stream, but I kind of don't want to. I want to keep streaming. I want to get this piece in. I want to keep going. So I think I am going to just keep going. But the question with it now remains, what do I do next? So we have Squad ralof, the first of our Grey Hunters. I do know they need wolf pelts. Don't at me. I know they need wolf pelts. I both have some wolf tail trophies that I've printed already. Some pup tails. And I have also waiting in the mail for a texture plate and green stuff so that I can do my own pelts and actually form them on. And I'm going to try and paint them in a style that's reminiscent of what I think a tide wolf looks like. Although I think that's one of the things I kind of need to decide. I had imagined that they had like the kind of brown and black spots like a seal. Like a sea lion or a seal, not like a harbor seal. Harbor seals are like gray in spots, but like the brown ones you get up north. I love seals, by the way. They're like sausages, and it's adorable. So. ralof came out really well. I plan on replacing these lower vents. This guy came out very well. I imagine this guy's like the second in command, right? He's the one who does the like secondary orders while ralof is busy. I imagine this guy's like, I don't know, is he the quietest or the angriest? I think he's the angriest. I think he's coming at people. And I think this guy here, even though he's not assembled, I think this guy's the quietest of the group, just because he's the marksman who just kind of quietly pop, 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 pop. Okay. Well, since we have to get those arms in order to finish those guys, waiting on the recyclers to finish the other parts of the pack, I will go ahead and we'll get on that. New scene. Okay. We will go ahead and throw myself back up to here. Okay, so what do I need? I need arms. Now, question is do I need... Like, what kind of arms? Do I need both arms to be good? Like, do I need both the left and the right arm? Free that auto bolter. Where are you at? You were here. I don't think so. Not particularly. It's maybe a little far forward, but no, there's the attachment point right there. So the big thing I need is this arm, the right arm that holds the gun. But let's see. Arm, no hand, R. Arm, no hand, R. Arm at the ready. So it's this ready hand. And I will probably end up clipping this. I gotta eliminate your binos. I forgot that I have these. I gotta make sure I use this on somebody. These binos. Probably clip the forearm off of one of my postables and put it on there. Let's see, what's heavy weapons arms? Ah, yes, these are something else that I found. They're actually kind of interesting. Oh, interesting. I could use this. Well, I don't know. Is that a steep enough angle? I don't think it's a steep enough angle. I think we're just going to use this and cut the hands off. We're just going to slice the hand off and do this. So, and it's the right scale. So, here. Go ahead and give it some mediums. Interesting thought. Should I make one of these guys left-handed? Or using it from his left? I think I will. Well, no, the auto bolter's not left-handed, so never mind. And I don't want to go and print a whole nother chunk of auto bolters. Let's make 15 of these. Just because it helps my OCD, we'll make 16. Boop. Alright. Export PMO. Close that so you don't have to watch the ad. Alright. By the time this is done exporting, the question is, do I play the madman and just throw these on as well? Like, just top off my resin and throw these on as well. These things are definitely going to take a little bit longer, so I think I will probably save these for tomorrow, so I'm probably not going to do that. Okay. So I'm going to throw up another cool picture of Space Wolf stuff. All those animals. There you go, this one's good. Alright, and I'll be back. with arrow segments. So I decided to do some. So today's been kind of a bit of a mad day for the stream. Real long stream. And I've had to step away to print like 6 parts. Big volleys of parts. So this will be the last I'll be doing today. So I'm just gonna mess around with one backpack. See what we got. I just kind of want you to be here for that process. And here we have some significantly downsized melt bombs. It might be a little too smaller than I had intended, but I think this will actually work good. I think I'm gonna start on ralof because he's obviously, and I'm kind of sponging out the last of the IPA that I was squashing it in. Some of it gets a little trapped in there despite all the shaking. Look at that, popped right out. Now these are very small. Woo, and a little slippery. So where are my forceps at? Forceps? Forceps right here. They're a little smaller than I had intended, but I think that still makes them the right size. But they are very fiddly to handle. Oh boy. Yeah. Gonna glob this on. Gonna kind of fit it right there. Trying to angle it back. It got stuck. I have to try this with my hand again. Yeah, that seems pretty cool. Try it again. Uh-oh. These are very small, very fiddly. I know you're here. Okay. Skin. I am actually kind of jumping the gun on this. This is definitely going to require more time to Oh dear. Just immediately stuck to my own finger. See if we can still get it in there. This is awfully fiddly. Doesn't help that I'm a little sweaty still. But I got it in there. And they're roughly even. I'm gonna have to paint these a different color so they stand out. But I really do like the way this looks. This actually looks pretty good. think this one needs to be pushed just that way a little bit. I'm gonna add a little more glue to it. All right, I'm very happy with this, actually. These are going to work perfectly, and I think that even though I made them a little smaller than I had intended to, I think this is going to work out just great. All right, and now I'm just going to do the 2 more backpacks, and then to finish up the assembly of ralof in these 2. Then I'm going to go ahead and end the stream, and then I'm going to go about getting some work in progress photos to post on Twitter. My phone and stuff. But I'm very excited about the progress I've made today. It was a wild stream just because I had to learn some things the hard way. Cough. You got to actually print your shoulder pads. Cough. You also have to print good shoulder pads. Cough. And you need to have left hands. Oh no. Alright. So, I'm going to take these 2 packs. I think it's okay if I give this guy maybe a pack with a missing vent, but I'm going to take these 2 packs. I don't think I have any more packs. Actually, I do. I do have more packs. Tell you what, we're going to go ahead and replace this one with this pack. Put that pack in my spare pack's big. Gotta be a little more careful because we want to control the breakage of the vents. There we go, that's better. Get that one. I'm just going to get the other one off the sprue because I want to make sure that I don't pop any of the vents off. Nope, I popped the vent off, but it is the one I intended to pop off. Now I've disconnected the vents. It can be a little rougher. Be able to twist this free now? Okay. Now I gotta clean the sprues off these. I did lose a vent on this one, but it's the correct vent to lose. Gotta get it in there. Just give me some flatten in there. Okay. I'll go back over and make sure this one's cleaned of its little nubs. Okay, now that's that vent, and I'm going to clip off these 2 vents. Perfect. Now what I'm actually going to do I'm just going to stick this in here so that I can hold and manipulate this so that it stays in place and I don't have to use my hands in particular to manipulate. Let me look at ralof to make sure. Yeah, it's the rounded bottom sides that are facing outwards. I think it might actually be smarter to put the glue on here rather than trying to fit that on there. Yeah, that's actually probably a much wiser decision. Getting there, getting there. Yeah, it's not perfectly even, but it'll do. This blue tack thing has been real useful, by the way. I don't know why I snapped those both off, because I'm just totally going to lose one here in just a second, aren't I? very small, very fiddly. Oh, did I just lose it? Let's see it. Oh no. Good thing we printed a bunch of extra. This is very difficult. Problem is what I'm holding it with, the glue gets on, right? That means it becomes difficult to let go and let it sit. I'm gonna have to look into how to model a custom backpack steel. Well, maybe not, because I know this is a lot to do for models in an army, but I'm not making, like, a fast army. I plan on doing this for a long time. Again, my finger just keeps taking it back with it. Get in there. Twist outward. Oh, there's that. What's happening? Okay, I see why this one's not fitting properly. There's a nub. I didn't see that. Get that out of there. All right, let's try that again, this time without the interfering nub. Support left over. Oh yeah, that's slotted right in there. Okay. This, of course, is what they look like, with the little canisters at the bottom. We're just gonna let those dry. Those aren't perfectly even, but then again, I don't think they need to be. All right. On that note, because the only thing I'll be doing left is gluing the backs of the power packs on the backs of these. I will go ahead and end the stream. For those of you who actually took the time to watch through this mess, thank you for watching. And for those of you who are watching from the VOD, I have not forgotten about it. Make sure you do your magical homework, and I will see you another time.